You know, I've always been very vocal about my opposition to masks, and I gotta tell you guys, I have gotten a lot of hate mail from people who are like, Carlin, how dare you say that we shouldn't be wearing masks, and do you want grandma to die? All the time I was getting hate mail for months and months and months, but I was adamant that the mask issue was going to ultimately cause more harm to our society than good. And I eventually asked Joshua, I got a particularly nasty piece of hate mail. I used to have this person sending me hate mail that would write them in the voice of a drunk cat. I'm not making that up, by the way. That was real. That she would write them, I think it was a woman, in the literal voice, like if she was a cartoon drunk cat, how the cat would write me a piece of hate mail, whatever. But this person one day wrote me a particularly nasty piece of hate mail in which she basically asked why I was such a bee over the mask issue. And so to make fun of this person, because that's what these people deserve, I asked Joshua on our regular Tuesday show, Nothing Remotely Controversial, to have a discussion with me about why I was such an uppity bee over the mask issue. And what he said was, Carlin, you're uppity about it because intuitively you know the whole thing reeks of BS. And he's right. That's exactly why it was. I thought that the whole thing was nonsense from the very beginning. And not only did I think it was nonsense, I thought it was going to be really detrimental and harmful to our broader society, because when you wear something literally over the thing you're using to express yourself, that is ultimately going to have a dehumanizing effect. It's going to have the effect of having you devalue yourself and devalue the value of expressing your ideas to the world. It's going to inhibit people from seeing your genuine human reactions. I always knew that this was going to be a problem. And yesterday, I saw one of the most disturbing videos that I've seen yet about the mask issue. Now, we're not going to watch the video, but I'm going to tell you about what's in it, and I'm going to link it in the description below so that you can go and see it for yourself. I was so uncomfortable. I watched this video right before bed because that's what I do. I lay in bed and I catch up on the news, and I was so uncomfortable watching this. I almost couldn't get through the whole video. And, you know, it's not... There are more violent videos out there than this, but to me, watching this happen right in front of me was just, it put the cherry on top of the year that is 2020, but particularly in regard to this issue of masks. This is a video of an Ohio mother being tased, and arrested because she was not wearing a mask at her son's football game. Alicia Kitts drove an hour and a half from Marietta to Logan, Ohio to watch her son's football game. In the first quarter, she was approached by an officer from the Logan Police Department because she was not wearing a mask. I actually wasn't clear when I was watching this video last night about whether this person was an actual police officer or a security guard, and finding out that this was an actual police officer today, I'm completely disgusted with this video. The video below shows the 3-minute encounter between Kitts and the officer. So essentially you can see this police officer is like a big black guy, and she's like a you know, she's not like tiny, but like definitely much smaller in stature than the cop, a white lady. And of course, if the races were reversed, this would be all over the flipping news. You know that, but this is not going to get reported on at all because it was a black cop and a white woman. And what you see for the first 3 minutes of this video, 3 full minutes, is this big police officer basically physically trying to force this woman to put her hands behind her back so he can handcuff her because she was not wearing a mask at a football game. Now, you can see the stands right there. You don't even need to watch the video. You can see the stands. They were sitting by themselves in the stands. They were socially distancing. They're outside. And this cop comes up to her to arrest her for not wearing a mask outside at a football game when she's not bothering anyone. And one of the most disturbing things is not the physical nature of this video, in which this cop is grabbing this woman, pushing this woman, trying to push this woman to the ground, pulling her arms behind her back. She's struggling and screaming and swearing. And she's saying, I'm not doing this. Yeah, this isn't happening. I'm sure she was in some state of shock that she was being literally arrested for not wearing a mask. And this goes on and on and on and on and on until eventually the cop tased her. The cop pulled out his taser and tased this woman in the course of this altercation. And finally, after he tased her, he was able to get her arms behind her back and arrest her. And everyone was just standing there watching. You see in this video, there's another man, and I can only assume that he was with the school, literally standing there watching this happen and thinking it was completely okay. I mean, listen, folks, again, I'm not going to watch the video. YouTube is already screwing with my channel enough. I don't need to give them any more reasons to demonetize or whatever else. But it is in the description below. Please go watch it. See this for yourself. It's absolutely disgusting. According to Tiffany Kennedy, the woman who shot the above video, Kitts had not been warned for not wearing a mask prior to the officer approaching her. Kennedy also said that Kitts had asthma, and that's why she was not wearing the mask. And I didn't know that when I watched this video, but now this pisses me off even more. You know what? I've gone on tears against the airlines lately. The airlines right now are asking for a second bailout of $28 billion, and I don't think they should get one more dime of taxpayer money, if for no other reason than they are actively breaking the ADA every single day by not allowing medical exemptions for masks on airplanes. Every single store or business that is not allowing for medical exemptions, legitimate medical exemptions, is breaking the Americans with Disability Act, and none of them deserve. I have no sympathy for any of these people. You're talking about not accommodating people with completely valid medical and emotional conditions that prevent them from safely wearing the stupid piece of cloth over our faces. Like, there are the reason that we were supposed to wear masks from the very beginning was if we couldn't socially distance. Social distancing was always the first priority. Masks were always the second backup effing plan. And now, you know what I noticed in my supermarkets around here when they started requiring masks? Because a lot of supermarkets didn't start requiring masks until like a month or two ago. Is the minute that the supermarket started requiring a mask, no one socially distanced anymore, because the supermarkets are really basically the only place I go around me anymore. No one socially distanced as soon as they require a mask. Up until the point where they required a mask, everyone was socially distancing. It was fine. You didn't have to be within 6 feet of someone. And now no one in any store is socially distancing because they all have their little security blanket of the mask. There is no reason to tase someone and arrest them for not wearing a mask. Words that you just read in a newspaper. Yeah, this is what we've come to. Kennedy also pointed out the female officer who was shown running towards Logan officer and Kitts at the end of the video was not wearing a mask. Oh, is it that convenient? So you're arresting this mother who is sitting by herself in the grandstands outside for not wearing a mask, but the female police officer isn't wearing a mask? Of course. Pulling one out of her pocket as she was in pursuit because we have to look good for the cameras, don't we? Alicia's mom said that when the officer tased her, the current went through the bleachers and zapped the kid sitting there too. Kitts appears to be social distance from others in the crowd and sitting with her family. There were only 25 to 30 fans from our town on our side, said Kennedy. The Logan Police Department declined to comment and sent an inquiry to Captain Ryan Gabriel. The Ohio Star left a message with Captain Gabriel and will report back after he makes contact. Alicia Kitts was contacted but has not returned comment before press. Sources indicate Kitts was charged with criminal trespass for sitting in the bleachers at a football game not wearing a mask and was released on her own recognizance. People have lost their minds. They've absolutely lost their minds. I mean, there's just no other way to put it. And I guess, you know, I have people all the time that say, well, Carlin, if it saves just but one life, that aren't masks worth it? How much is it costing us? How much is it costing us? I'm not saying that people should not be able to make the choice to wear a mask. If you want to wear a mask, man. I will not say anything. That is your choice. But when you are mandating that others make the same choice as you, that's authoritarianism. And when you are literally physically assaulting and arresting and tasing people. Tasing them. Watch the video. She got tased for not wearing a mask. You've lost the plot. You've lost the point. And at that point, the cure is greater than the virus itself. All right, guys. That's all I got. If you enjoy my content, please consider subscribing to my channel, giving it a thumbs up, leaving a comment, feed that algorithm. YouTube, for the last month almost, has been really messing with my channel. I can actually look at my analytics and tell you the exact day it started. It was August 27th, when I had very, very, very consistent stats for months and months and months, and I was like, boom. And so they are absolutely messing with my channel. There is no doubt in my mind. I hear from you guys all the time. Carlin, I was unsubscribed. I'm not getting your notifications. I'm not seeing your videos recommended anymore. This and that. It really helps me out if you guys, feed that algorithm, leave a comment, share it, all this good stuff. I really appreciate it. I'm not going to give up talking about it no matter how much YouTube doesn't like it. Yeah, that's all I've got for right now. I'll see you soon.